Let's discuss what fertility supplements are clinically shown to improve egg quality, and let's talk about what you should look out for when purchasing these supplements. Hi, welcome back. Charlene Lincoln, and on this channel, I talk about all things natural fertility. I became a mama in my 40s, and I think it's the best time to become a parent. Let's prepare for this incredible journey together. Click like to support my channel, and let's talk about supplements. So if your goal is to improve your egg quality, then you'll want to put the best raw material in your body possible. I love this analogy, and I remind myself often to follow it. Think of yourself as a rare, expensive, exotic sports car. Now, if you want that sports car to have top performance, then are you putting in cheap fuel or cheap oil? Of course not. You're going to spare no expense in putting the best of everything in that car. In this case, the car is you, and you are $1 million Bugatti. I only know what a Bugatti is because of my 9-year-old neighbor. But anyways, you deserve the finest quality sleep, the best quality emotional state, the best quality of relationships, the best quality foods, and of course, the finest quality supplements. I do recommend practitioner grade supplements, and here's some reason why. Some of these practitioner brands can be found on Amazon or your natural health food store, and I'm also put a link below, in addition to my Amazon store, to my Relevate store where all the supplements are verified authentic. So what exactly does practitioner grade mean? Practitioner grade supplements are produced in a way to obtain the purest form of the nutrient and absorb maximum absorption. Contains no binders, fillers, excipients, dyes, or unknown substances. And in order to have a therapeutic effect, nutrients must be absorbed into your bloodstream, and the extent to which they can be absorbed is referred to as bioavailability. Differences in manufacturing create significant differences in bioavailability, and practitioner-grade nutrients are only manufactured in FDA-registered facilities that follow certified good manufacturing practices protocol, and it ensures the quality and purity of the supplement. There is some criticism about, supplements, they don't work, they're a waste of money and time. You know what? I have to agree in some cases. The supplement vitamin industry, it's a multi-million-dollar industry, right? And I think a lot, I can't guess, but I would say a large percentage of these synthetic products are just not able to be absorbed, and they use cheap fillers and things like that. And I have to say a lot of them are a waste of time and money, unfortunately. So when I discuss improving egg quality, a few points I want to go over. One is it happens over a minimum of 4 months, referred to as the preconception phase. This is when the egg goes through a miraculous process called the maturation cycle. So you're going to give yourself that 4 months, it might be more, to take these supplements and let them work. Number 2, let's focus on lowering inflammation, which will happen mostly through your diet. And I made this video on the best fertility foods. And finally, it's about supporting your mitochondrial health. One of the main roles of mitochondria is to be the energy source or the battery for all our cells. It takes an immense amount of energy for our eggs to go through cellular division. And because we do lose mitochondria as we age, we need to make our lifestyles more zen and use powerful antioxidants to support our cells' powerhouses, aka the mitochondria. It also controls intercellular pH, which improves fertilization of the egg. From a med study, mitochondria as the energy factories for cells are found in high numbers in oocytes, those are immature egg cells, as they provide the energy for oocyte maturation, fertilization, and embryo formation via oxidative phosphorylation. Oocytes are immature egg cells, as I said, that become the egg that we ovulate and become fertilized. We want to show our oocytes a lot of love. That's why I always tell my clients, you are not pregnant now, but these immature egg cells, you were born with them. They're already in you. So treat your body like the temple that it is. I mean, and that's not just the foods we eat or the supplements we take, but the thoughts we think. And that's kind of almost the most challenging part, right? But everything to create this warm, nurturing environment in which these oocytes are going to, be selected. Certain ones are going to be selected and go through that maturation cycle. So be extra loving to yourself. You're a wonderful, wonderful person going through a crazy experience called life. And yeah, just be kind. So back to the failure of assisted reproduction like IVF is mainly attributed to oocyte aging and increased aneuploidy. Aneuploidy is a chromosomal anomaly in which the number of one or more chromosomes is abnormal. And this all goes back to poor mitochondria. Mitochondria is also responsible for spindle formation. Spindles are responsible for helping equally divide chromosomes in a parent cell. And this is hugely important as it's the main reason doctors are so worried about Down syndrome and other chromosomal disorders that can occur in the offspring more often of women over 35. If chromosomes don't separate correctly, these genetic disorders can result. Older women have less mitochondria per egg, so it's more difficult to do all the tasks required of it, including proper chromosomal separation. So are you with me in supporting your mitochondria health? I know you are. You're proactive, you're inspiring, and I thank you for it. And your future child thanks you too. Okay, number 1, vitamin D. Of course, vitamin D. Studies show that women with the highest vitamin D levels got pregnant more than double the rate of women with low vitamin D levels. Vitamin D is a steroid hormone and is needed as a building block for other hormones. And I know vitamin D is already in prenatals, but what I'm seeing is it's not in a sufficient amount. Optimal vitamin D levels for fertility should be between 40 to 70 nanograms per milliliter, and I rarely come across someone who isn't deficient. I see prenatals have anywhere between 400 IU to maybe 900 IU. I would test your vitamin D levels and then dose sometimes at 5,000 IU or more, depending on your level of deficiency. You can dose and then test again after a few months to see if that level has gone up to the optimal range. Number 2, melatonin. So here's the scoop on melatonin. Studies have shown impressive results when 3 milligrams daily was taken during an IVF cycle. Melatonin is a powerful antioxidant, and women with higher levels of melatonin show higher AMH levels and a higher follicle count. Women with higher melatonin levels show a larger number of eggs retrieved during IVF and higher quality embryos after IVF. Melatonin declines as we age. It's secreted by the pineal gland and regulates circadian rhythms in the body, tells the body to go to sleep at night and wake up in the morning. So here's a couple tips. Do not take melatonin if you have elevated thyroid antibodies. And I hear the question, how do I know I have elevated thyroid antibodies? You have to test for them. There's no way you would know without it. And the thing is, this makes me so angry. But what happens is there's sometimes inadequate thyroid testing. They'll test like one marker, TSH. If you fall into this big range, you seem fine, even if you have a lot of the signs and symptoms of thyroid, and then they won't bother to do a full panel on you. And they'll definitely not bother to test thyroid antibodies. But the problem is studies have shown that elevated thyroid antibodies precede thyroid disease. So you could have no signs and symptoms, your other thyroid labs look fine, and your thyroid antibodies are already elevating in the background. So do what you can. Ask your doctor if he will do, why am I saying he or she will do a full thyroid panel on you. And I'm going to link another video. Hopefully I'll remember to link it about what markers to test, and then also to ask to test thyroid antibodies. So once again, do not take melatonin if you have elevated thyroid antibodies. Only take melatonin for a short period of time. But here's the thing. To naturally increase melatonin, let's do the following. 2 hours prior to bedtime, turn off bright overhead lights and either avoid screens by not looking at your screen, listening to an audible book or a meditation, or if you just need to look at a screen, I get it, use blue blocking glasses. By doing this, studies show that melatonin production increased by 50% subsequently during the day. Go out and be exposed to the brightest daylight possible. This reminds me of something interesting. I don't know if you know that it's kind of on a hiatus right now, and hopefully it'll revive back up. I have a fertility podcast called Fertility Hour. I interviewed Dr. Christiane Northrup, and she told me this really interesting story. She told me about an archaeologist that studied a tribe in a remote jungle region of, I believe it was Mexico. The archaeologist was astounded that the women of the tribe continued to birth children into their 50s and 60s. Dr. Northrup, kind of her insight or take on this was that it was the power of the subconscious mind, because this remote tribe had never been, exposed to anything outside of this tribe. They were never told that they couldn't continue to give birth. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't getting that message. They weren't limited by cultural belief systems dictating at what age they could still be fertile. But I agree with that theory, but also it seems that because they weren't exposed to constant blue light from screens and instead follow the natural rhythms of nature, getting up at sunrise, going to bed at nightfall, it results in higher melatonin levels. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Okay. Number 3 is fish oils in the form of omega-3 EPA DHA. And I like how this one fertility YouTuber phrased it. Omega-3s keep your cells plump and squishy. Is true. The membranes that protect and hold together our cells, mitochondria, and DNA are primarily made up of polyunsaturated fatty acids, which fish oils are composed of. Omega-3s reduce oxidative stress and reduce inflammation, and therefore help protect egg and sperm. In 2011, the American Society for Reproductive Medicine published a study indicating that women who consumed higher omega-3s were more likely to have better ovulatory patterns than women who consumed lower amounts of omega-3s. In this study, omega-3 fatty acids were also shown to positively impact reproductive hormones like FSH, progesterone, and estrogen. In a study conducted in 2012, researchers measured the effect of lifelong omega-3 fatty acid intake and short-term dietary intake of omega-3s on ovarian aging and oocyte quality. They found that lifelong consumption of a diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids prolongs reproductive function as a woman ages. God, with all that, I'm wondering if all my hormonal issues were all those margarines and things that I was raised on in the 80s, because, that's what all any of us say. Remember, I'm in my 50s now, but country crock shed spread, that was supposed to be the healthiest things. I think that was trans fats. So anyways, I had kind of a lot of hormone issues, PMS constantly and things like that. I really had to clean up my diet. So in addition to short-term dietary supplementation with a diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids started at the time of the normal rapid age-related fertility decline, which is around 35 to 40, for women associated with improved oocyte quality. In a 2016 study, researchers found that taking 4,000 milligrams of EPA DHA omega-3s decreased FSH levels in normal weight women. In 2019, the researchers replicated their findings with a new group of women, same dosage of omega-3. Again, they found the omega-3s decreased the women's FSH levels by almost 30%. Because I get asked that a lot. How do I decrease my FSH levels? Well, I never think just do this one thing, because I don't know what your diet is like. I don't know what your health background is like. If you're asking me via YouTube, but that is one thing, is decreasing all the omega-6s and increasing the ratio omega-3s. And also incorporating a healthier diet, which, I linked that one video about fertility foods that will be helpful. Number 4 is Maca, and there's only one Maca I recommend, and it's manufactured from a company called Symphony Natural Health. 3 years ago, I was doing research on Maca because I knew a lot of women take it when trying to conceive. My concern was that it was sometimes effective and sometimes very problematic, and I wanted to understand why. I ended up having a long conversation with the CEO of this company and found out he was a researcher that understood Maca at a very, very deep scientific level. hormonal. And he told me that most Maca in the marketplace could be stimulating for the adrenals, but will not work to regulate hormones in women. They researched a Maca phenotype that works to regulate women's hormonal systems via the HPA axis. And I'm going to put a link to the interview below about this particular Maca. People have, I made a video about it maybe 3 or so years ago. And in some of the comments, people were saying, oh, she's recommending because she sells this type of Maca. Yeah, I was promoting the Maca, and I get like a couple bucks affiliate commission. If you don't want to buy from that, totally up to you. It's not that I'm shilling this product. It's really that he kind of opened my eyes that they were really the only company doing the research, and you don't have to take my word for it. Go to their website. You can call them. They have practitioners that are on call to answer your question. I mean, you can literally talk to a functional medicine doctor and say, I have PCOS, I have this going on, should I be considering this product, and what are the considerations? I mean, who else is doing that? I was really impressed. Okay. Number 4 is CoQ10, but in the form of bioavailable ubiquinol. But ubiquinol is often recommended because the standard form of ubiquinone is pretty poorly absorbed. Ubiquinol restores energy to the cells. Studies on animals show that the mice of advanced maternal age who are treated with CoQ10 have a significant increase in ovulated eggs after stimulation, as well as significantly increased litter size. I don't know if you want a bigger litter size, but CoQ10 supplementation also decreases abnormalities in embryos and increases pregnancy rate. That was in mice, I believe. The current recommendation for CoQ10 intake is 90 to 200 milligrams of CoQ10 per day. However, depending on your individual condition, you may be prescribed up to 600 milligrams per day for egg health. You definitely need to speak to your fertility doctor about this. Number 5 is N-acetylcysteine, or NAC. It's a powerful antioxidant and a precursor to glutathione, which is another critical antioxidant inside cells. NAC studies have mostly involved women with PCOS. However, if you are experiencing difficulty getting pregnant, recurrent miscarriages, diminished ovarian reserve, poor egg quality, then I would recommend NAC. In IVF studies, women who took NAC showed much lower homocysteine levels in their ovarian follicles. Okay, I say this in every video, but I do want to remind you to download our free report on how to improve egg quality even at 40 plus. You just go to the description below the video and you're going to see the link. And you're also going to see a link to an invitation to our free fertility masterclass that is coming up. Also, I made these videos for you. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of them. So take your choice, and also click like and consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much.